Beast. Welcome to the Beast Breakdown. It's your boy, Beast. And I'm here once again with the boy, Jayblast Network. Jay, say what's up.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Jayblast Network.
This fool. I thought he was a Sonic fan, but now he's on the Mario Kart side. Don't you remember? You're only supposed to be able to play one game. You're sitting there playing Mario Kart World, and we're going to talk about Crossworlds?
Yeah, he's lying, bro. I ain't on Mario Kart side. I actually got a lot to say about that game.
No, exactly. You're right. Because it's not supposed to be two cakes. No two cakes. We only eating one cake over here. I'm playing.
Well, I hate cake in general. I like ice cream, so I like cookies and cream. So, you know, something got to be the cookie, something got to be the cream.
Classic. That's valid. Cookies and cream. But yeah. How have you been? I'm in this dude's YouTube channel. He's like, fool had like 50 subs, and he's sitting there talking about he's doing a Switch Mario Kart bundle giveaway. And he's saying like, oh, comment every day this week and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he's capping or whatnot. It's like me and like 10 dudes in the comments like every day trying to get this Switch. So we gonna see. He got 100 subs now, so I guess it's working for him. But
that's what they do. That's what they build themselves off of that. So and then you get dead subs from that.
Yes, but I mean, that's what I'm gonna still support him afterwards. But you know, I'm gonna do my best to hopefully I might be playing Mario Kart World with you. But how do you feel about the game?
I got a lot to say on it. I'm trying to like wait because I'm still trying to like. I gotta like really master the game fully before speaking my thoughts on everything.
Right. So give me.
But
give
I
me
can
initial,
say like
initial stuff, like week one thoughts.
All right, you want the short or the long answer?
Let me get a short so we can bust through this Crossworlds.
Okay, short answer. I think the game is good, but for what we've had, how long we had to wait for the sequel to come out, I think that in many ways, disappointment. We're actually missing features from the base Mario Kart 8 in terms of online. In terms of like the single player content, like I think all the new maps they added are really good. All the retro maps feel like almost completely different. Like Peach Beach is almost unrecognizable in terms of its layout. And when you're on a regular map, it's really fun. The only thing is I feel like this game needed 200 TC because 150 is so slow in the game compared to how you would think it'd be. And I did everything on 150. I got all gold medals on 150. The Rainbow Road arguably might be could be the best in the series.
Best Rainbow Road or best stage?
Yeah, I mean like the best Rainbow Road in the series in general. Yeah. Like they actually blew out of the water with this one. This is what 8 should have been in the first place. I think, for me to be honest, it's a better base game than base Mario Kart 8 was back in 2014, which I also had a lot of issues with, by the way, when that game came out. Which I thought about it in a retrospective one day. But I do think that certain things, like certain main characters missing, that's one thing. But like online features, like there's not like a proper lobby system.
Yeah, I've been seeing that
in the game.
I've been seeing that. Like you can't even. Yeah. Isn't it when you? It's like you can only race on stuff that's like nearby, or like there's a specific way in order to race in different tracks, and like it still has you like wait an odd amount of time between races, and like it honestly like confused me a lot. I'm like, what are they doing?
So to explain, I finally understood the game was going on. The reason why, so each track, most of the tracks do have 3 laps. The issue that we were seeing in that gameplay was that you have like the way it works, where it's like we're going to travel to the map. Well, if you travel to the map after beating the race, then you have a lap where you have to, like you have laps where you have to travel to the map, and then you have the actual map as the last lap of the race.
Which I think
that's why it looked like all those maps were like single races. It's because they're not. They're actually 3 laps. You can change it to where they're actual the laps that they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of them are. Well, the ones that are like DK Spaceport, that one is obviously like like the.
It's a big like
you
travel
keep going forward. Same with Rainbow Road. Yeah.
Okay.
But they have that, but you have to travel to the map. So in the Grand Prix, you have to play that first map regularly. Then you travel to the other maps, and so you're actually playing the regular track for 1 lap. And most of the gameplay is on the road. Now the problem with this is that it really does not utilize a lot of the mechanics that they introduced, like the wall riding and like the new trick system, and then the grinding. They aren't heavily utilized because you're driving on like plain road, and that's my problem with open world too. Is unlike games like Forza and stuff that it's trying to imitate, it just feels like these tracks are in service to, or the roads are in service to the tracks, and they have to be because of the way the game is designed. But it doesn't make for a compelling open world. Like, I can technically drive to a track and that's interesting, but from what I've played, there really isn't nothing on the map that I would like, okay, I need to go and explore that. Like, there's nothing that I feel that way about, because it's mostly just service roads
for the actual Grand Prix.
Yeah, there's not in many like places of interest outside of like the main tracks either, right? Like, it's cool to explore that big city, but that's also a track.
Yeah.
So,
and like
it's stuff like that.
And even me looking at it, at first I was excited at the idea of open world, and then when I was learning more about it, I was like, oh, this mess is about to be like, open world's about to be mid, especially since there's no story. I think the fact there's no story, like, or there's not at least missions or NPCs to talk to, or things that nature, like that, a narrative, or like even just leading you where to go with specific stuff, that does so much for a big open world like that. So I was really disappointed. But honestly, like, I've been avoiding a lot of Mario Kart World gameplay, but the little I've seen, there's some aspects of the open world where I think it was Nintendo Life that had dropped their review today, and they were talking about how like some of it's like you're really just going just to explore like the environments and like the beauty, and like some, like, you know, I think he was going up a river with all these like fish coming out of it, and it actually has me a little excited just to do that. I'm a little bit more excited for open world than I was when the game like dropped like a week or two ago. So like, I mean, I know that's not enough. I still think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but you know, and
yeah,
I'm a little excited still.
Yeah, that's just my problem with it. Like, it's like that section is probably one small section, but most of the map is not that.
Most of the map
it's not that.
Look pretty barren from what I understand, especially if you're driving off the road, you're driving in the grass and you're still driving slow. Like, I would have assumed there would have been some kind of like story reason or some kind of power up where you could like not use stuff in the grass, like, or like you could like go off road at normal speed. I'm actually very surprised that they don't have nothing like that.
They don't make any adjustments, and the problem is so because of, you know, Mario Kart, like other racers, you know, it's focused on you going forward. So there really isn't a lot of tools for you to go backwards or like spin backwards. Like as an example, in Twisted Metal, right? In the good Twisted Metal games, most of them, you can like turn on a dime because it's a battle racer. So you're turning on a dime essentially because you have to fight like 3 people at once.
It's just like in battle mode.
Game,
even in battle mode.
In this game, but they don't have that in the open world. I thought they were going to change the controls, but they don't. So like sometimes you'll miss something, and you try to like reverse back, but it doesn't feel right because it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to do that. So you have to drive around, make a big circle to go back around, get it. It just feels awkward.
Yeah,
because of that.
Or I guess you'd have to do the reverse time thing. But I think that would have been cool if they had like a you can like switch gears or something. Like you can just press on the D-pad and you switch to battle mode where you can, you know, drift in a circle, or even, you know, switch to off-road and now you're in the grass or whatever. I think they could have done stuff, but I really do think they're gonna update this game because I think there's a lot of weaknesses.
Oh, they are.
That they realize that I don't think they fully realize like how like some of the weaknesses of the game. I think the core game, like for example, just the laps, the stages, I think that mess looks solid. But it's actually really funny. I just want to talk about this one last part and then we can go to Crossworlds. It's actually very interesting how the game is so chaotic. It is so chaotic. And I remember we were talking about like, oh, the fact you don't have to hold items behind your back, and like they reduce a lot of the stun from a lot of attacks. You know, a lot of attacks a lot of weapons seem less punishing and blah blah blah. But man, it's crazy how like when Crossworlds was in beta, everybody loved the Crossworlds beta, but everyone said it's too chaotic. Like you'd be in first place, you get slapped once, and then everybody passes you up, or like you're getting hit like 50 billion times, like nonstop, and like everybody in the big pack, and it's actually crazy that Crossworlds, when I watch people play online, that mess is the exact same way as beta Crossworlds. And Crossworlds has, like, from what we've seen, like in June, they've toned down a lot of the items. So it's actually crazy how, like, the games seemingly flopped on that franticness.
And you want to know something though about that? Is the problem?
What?
Probably the reason why it's happening is that first off, the rubber band is crazy, like way crazier than ever was before.
I never thought it was rubber banding because the computers, they be doing skips with the mushrooms now. At first, I thought it was just because they're cold.
No, it's
rubber banding.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why though, because it happens in the actual, like when you're racing online too. Because this game basically, it's like they depowered the items. They really made them like more powerful because of the way they worked. Like it feels like you stop gaining speed at a certain point, and it feels like you can't pass up anybody who, unless you have an item, especially when you get to like the higher places. Even though you're going like essentially like in Mario Kart 8, if you were going like the similar speed, you catch up, right? Eventually, like boosting and stuff. But without items in this game, you know, and you get hit once, like you pretty much like screwed for like most of the lap because of the way the speed works. I don't know what they did to it, but then on top of that, right? Sometimes taking those shortcuts, like what that guy, like those people are doing, actually slows you down compared to just taking the regular route, like with the old like the parkour and stuff.
Yeah.
It actually slows you down because of the way that the stuff works, and it makes you lose time. And like in this game, like you have an item in first place, like you may actually lose the race if you're like halfway through the race because you can't catch up to the other guy, even though you're going like the same speed as the other guy and doing the drifts and stuff. The drift boosts don't really help you in that aspect. I don't know why they did what they did, but that is another problem with the game that I was noticing playing with a friend. Because it feels like they're taking out a lot of the skillful play, or they're not rewarding a lot of the skillful play. Like the fact that somebody can parkour like that, they should be winning. It doesn't matter. It should be ahead. If someone's doing all those crazy tricks, they should be ahead. They shouldn't be barely ahead. It should be ahead.
Yeah,
right?
I assumed there was going to be
they want.
I thought there's going to be a huge gap, like skill gap in the game, but it looks like they've kind of like controlled it a little bit with the items.
And I guess they're doing that because it's more casual. But I'm sorry, they need to just let that stuff go. Yeah. Because people are going to find a way to exploit the current system anyway. And, you know, Crash Team Racing, for example, right? You know, you go in there, it's crazy. But you're fighting top level players, right? That's what you're fighting at that point. And the game rewards that skill. So people find it so satisfying. When you don't reward the skill that it takes to, like, overcome your game, and no one's gonna want to play it. Like I don't want to do it now because if I do it, I lose the race. There's no point in doing it. Like it looks cool, it looks really cool. Maybe a time trial may look cool, but even in time trial, you never know. Someone may just do the regular way and then, you know, it's over, just like that. And there's nothing you can really do about it. Another thing is the costumes. One last thing on the costumes. What I don't like about them is that they're not spread out evenly. And I don't know why Baby Rosalina is in this game. I don't know why some of these babies it should just be Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach. But they all have like 4 costumes, right?
Yeah.
Guess how many costumes Donkey Kong has?
How many?
1. 1.
Oh, and it's
Pauline has 1.
And Donkey Kong.
These babies get like 4 to 5 costumes.
And Donkey Kong's
why?
His costume is from the soccer game, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's from the soccer game.
Dang, I didn't realize that's his only one. That's whack.
Bro, it's weird how they did it. I don't understand why they did it like that.
Yeah.
But it's dumb. And then unlocking the other characters, like the rando enemies.
Yeah, that's
you have
dumb.
to
the comic.
Wait for somebody to get Kamek, and then, dude, I had Kamek come on like a Grand Prix like 5 times, and 4 out of those 5 times he gave me the same enemy, but didn't unlock anybody.
Yeah, that's whack.
So it's a lot of issues with the game. I mean, they can update it, can be fixed, sure.
But a lot of the issues
I expect better, especially since this game was being developed since 2017. Mario Kart 8, to be fair, was being made since like Mario Kart 7 in 2011, right? And they're the first time in HD, so I have to be fair to them on that. But they had like 10 years to get over this, and now it's like we're back to square one, and in some aspects we're worse, and it doesn't make any sense. There was no tournaments too online, like it was before either.
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like Sonic Team and Nintendo sometimes they are very similar, and they're just random stubbornness to pretend like they've never played another video game before. Like the idea that there's no like official ranked, but then you have like this, the GSP or whatever you call it, or like
Yeah.
the fact that they don't put all the costumes behind one character, or you have that strange way of unlocking them, or like the burgers, you use the burgers to get costumes. And I think I saw like an area where you're in like a market and somebody's going around in circles just eating like 50 burgers, then switching characters, eating 50 burgers, and just going around in a circle. And it's just like,
No, he messed up. Because you're supposed to go to the costumes, the way they work, if you have multiple, you have to go to different areas of the map to get the other food that gives you the costume that matches
for each
theme.
region. Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
And people are just spamming it, like they're just doing it the hard way and the wrong way. Because if you do it that way, you're actually exploring and then using, and you can just, and even if you don't feel like driving there, you can just switch to a different character that's in their location, a different location, and get their costume switched back, and the character be in a different location.
Yeah, it feels like when Mario or like Nintendo does stuff like this, it seems like they're trying to like innovate by being different or weird or just like standing out. But when Sonic Team does it, it almost seems like a little bit more like derogatory, like incompetent. Both suck, but like it's just like with the Cocos trying to level up in Sonic Frontiers, or like just the way they did certain things or had certain settings. It's just so just bizarre. But
I think Nintendo was more stubborn because look at Splatoon, for instance. Splatoon, you have to wait for a map rotation still. You can't just select the map, and the reason is somebody defend it and say, well, in Call of Duty, like for instance in that shooter, if they put Nuketown on there, people gonna pick Nuketown over whatever map. But that's like it'll go away. You'll go away in the next match and you'll have something else to pick.
And it's not like you gotta wait days
random, go
for
something else.
It's not like you gotta wait days for it to come back. It's just like you just gotta wait for the rotation. But yeah, so you gotta wait. Just stubbornness.
Yeah, and then the missions. One last. I'm sorry, I keep going on, but the missions. I bring it up. The missions, while I learned they are trying to teach you some of the game most of the time, they really aren't things I'm going to go after. And that's another thing. You really don't get nothing outside of the costumes. You get virtually nothing. Yeah, just stickers, which do nothing besides change stuff cosmetically. You don't get anything from doing all the extra stuff in the open world. So to me, it's like I thought the way you advertised it, you think this world was gonna have like a story to it, it's gonna have like some extra modes to it in it, but it doesn't. It's just there, and like it's cool to be able to explore, but you have to do more. This isn't the Mario 64 where we're happy to just be walking around like a 3D environment anymore, right? We've had open world games. I get this is a kart racer, but if you're taking from other racers, then I'm gonna judge it based off other racers too, and it's just not. It's not what I would expect. Like it seems like there's more, but it really is either it feels empty or it's less. There isn't a crazy place on the map that someone has found yet that's not a stage. And that's the problem. Like you think there'd be a whole sky area in the game because of the sky maps? No, there's not. It's just those specific maps. So Air Fortress and Rainbow Road and all it's nothing like crazy leading to that, right? It's just you go there from the ground and then you're there, and now you're in that track. That's a missed opportunity. Mario has Sky Worlds, right? But I had to play the game more. But that's my initial. I'm just kind of like I can say it's a good game, but it's very disappointing in many aspects for having to wait 10 years. And if I want to give the development time a thing, then I would say 8 years for the game. And then the fact the game is $80, so it's $80, and I'm missing this stuff. Something's up. Yeah. With no roadmap, by the way. No roadmap of DLC. Yeah. So even if we got updates, we don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
We could be waiting 10 years for Diddy Kong again. After they put him in the game.
It's disrespectful. But I mean, hopefully I'll find out on Monday if I freaking got this freaking Switch, or if this guy just freaking scammed us. I mean, not scammed us, but
yeah, be careful on them small dudes. I know they scamming like crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little nervous. I really hope he don't choose me. But let's get into this Sonic Crossworlds mess. Cause dog, IGN Live, Sonic Crossworld had some reveals. Summer Games Fest, they had some reveals. They had some trailers come out. A lot of interviews going on, and there's this really awesome trailer I've rewatched it like so many times just because of just the hype. It sucks that like there was the leaks that happened the week before, and the leaks were so hilarious. I don't. The leaks. That was. I feel like that's one of the biggest leaks. I really haven't seen a leak that bad in gaming. Like I know everyone was blowing up when like Wolverine gameplay or GTA 6 gameplay got shown, but I've never like, and like in reality there was like Sonic Frontiers leaks, but like no, not straight up like, you know, Azuka said like the stuff that got leaked, it almost really like ruined the game for real, or ruined their partnership with other people. But of course, in the new trailer we saw the boy Joker, the boy Ishiban, and we saw Hatsune Miku. We saw way more Extreme Gears gameplay. We've been getting some like bits and pieces of Extreme Gear and like new stages like Halaska and Apodos and Starlight Carnival. But now we're seeing even more stages. We're seeing like complete races. We saw the whole Rivals mode get introduced, which is in Grand Prix. Each character has a set amount of like rivals who you can pick to be like the best computer to be racing against, and they have like fighting game intros, which were so dope. Literally, like what do you think about that whole trailer, bro? Even the race park. I heard some rumors that the race park, which it's supposed to be where you just do multiplayer local races, apparently it's going to be a hub world. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, it's online too.
It's going to be an online hub world. Wow. So what did you think about all this new gameplay, all this new information, the collabs? What do you think about that? That boy Steven got announced too. That boy Minecraft from Minecraft.
They didn't disappoint like with the wait, because they did take a late. But this is kind of the Sonic advertisement recently where they show something off like a little bit, and then they don't say shit for like most of the year until like the summer.
Yeah.
But I feel like this really did like put the game over a lot, and it was worth the wait. And it answered like so many questions at once, including the release date. And I liked everything from the trailer. I think the only thing I started with one negative about the game, and it seems like we're not getting an actual like campaign like we used to.
Right.
With like the World Tour and Transformed, and then that racing campaign.
Yeah.
Which you're probably not getting those missions anymore.
Yeah.
To my characters, that does kind of suck.
Nah.
I don't care for some of those missions though. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I thought Transformed did a better job at it than TSR. And another thing that does suck, it seems like there's no story. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like last time. But I think a lot of this was just done so that they can add all these characters in and not have to. Because one problem with DLC and fighting games, certain fight, is like when they add these DLC characters, right? Let's say you get the game like when the DLC's done, you're gonna be playing some of these characters. I like playing this character, and then you go to do like some of their stuff, and they don't have certain things because they're DLC.
Yeah.
Like Tekken, for instance. Tekken, for some reason, they want to get DLC character stories, and that sucks because in the long run, when you go play that story mode and you want to see the cutscene of the character that you play, and let's say you play one of the DLC characters, then you're not going to be able to see anything because there's no story at it. Street Fighter takes a long time to put the DLC out, but it gives the characters like they're in the avatar mode where you go like train with other Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, they
so you get train with them, they get the story, they talk, they get the costume, they get everything.
Yeah, they feel
and
like
it takes
a part
a long
of the game,
time.
like fully integrated.
It takes a long time, yeah. And I'm hyped for that now because they put Alex back in the game, which I was waiting for, and C Viper, and Ingrid was a crazy like pick for them to pick. I mean, Sagat's cool too, but like Alex, my boy.
Oh, I didn't realize
Sagat.
They dropped a trailer for Sagat. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Season 3 got revealed, and they showed off Sagat stage, and Sagat he's gonna be one of the people that have a stage. Some people don't get stages.
Yeah.
And it's the Thailand, which I always like that stage.
But yeah.
So it's Sagat, he's coming first, and then it's C Viper next, which I was like, they teased her all the way from Street Fighter 6, bro. I mean Street Fighter 5. Like for the whole time Street Fighter 5 since that game that came out, and she never came in the game. And I liked her. I liked her and Jury more, but I liked her from 4. And I'm glad she's back. And Alex is my dog.
That's full with the bandana.
And 3, yeah. And 3, that's my favorite grappler in Street Fighter. In 3 and in 5. So now I'm glad he's back. And they're gonna do him Drive Rush. I'm finna Drive Rush and the power bomb people. And I know people finna get mad as hell. And I'm so glad, bro, because one of my friends plays fucking Zangief.
Oh yeah,
and he does that. You know that the red cyclone. He does that bullshit out of a Drive Rush, or like he does because Zangief has a running one. I don't be paying it. I don't know. I got to get better at fighting him. But I'll get grabbed at that. That does a hell of damage. Now I can do revenge. You do that to me, I'm just gonna power crush you. I'm gonna power bomb you.
Yeah, my boy, 2 of my boys. You know, Thunka, he plays Zangief. So that boy Thunka nasty. He plays Zangief. He plays the other that big lady, Marissa, whatever her name is.
Yeah. Oh, you play 6 too?
Yes, fool. That fool is scary.
Yeah,
bro.
we gotta get on, bro.
You better watch out for Thunka, bro. That boy Thunka.
Oh, I play Lily.
You play Lily?
I play Lily as well.
You know me. So. I play with. I gotta sip on some drink, bro. I play with that boy Jamie. That boy.
Yeah, I was supposed to play as him first, but I gotta learn him more. But I need to learn a better secondary. I'm probably doing Jury because Jury got her dive kick back. Street Fighter 5 messed up a lot of characters, but Jury now she got her dive kick back. This is Street Fighter 4 Jury mixed with 5, and they didn't limit her moves like they did last time. So I'm, if I need to lock back in, I'll be cold with her. But they also put in Terry Bogard in the game.
Yeah, that boy.
So that's like it's over for a lot of people. They put him in the game. That's by Main and Fatal Fury and King of Fighters. And then they put Elena in the game. You know me, I'm Tekken. I love Eddie Gordo. So yeah, I'm always with the Capoeira. I gotta learn her, but she got that healing. And people you bring healing up. I mean, people think that they done went through World War II when you bring up healing with Elena.
The
play Street Fighter.
About to pull up.
Yeah, they teased that in a trailer. They actually had it as a post-credit scene for her trailer because you thought it wasn't in her moveset, and then she just did it,
so
and then screamed with the black after she did it.
That's evil.
She said healing, and you saw the reactions. People, they were like, "Oh no!"
Man, that's so real. But
and she got an Africa stage too, where I gotta play her. She brought Africa to the game.
Yeah, I gotta get back on the Street Fighter. But going back to Supersonic Racing and this boy Crossworlds. I'm really excited for the collabs, and I know we had some leaks. I've been trying to avoid talking about leaks, but I guess it's kind of unavoidable. You can skip this section if you don't want to hear about leaks. But of course, that boy Sponge Boy, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is sponsoring the Kids' Choice Awards this summer. So that's most likely where SpongeBob is going to get revealed in the Bikini Bottom stage. Yeah. And like all the paid DLC characters, they're going to come with a stage and at least like one to 3 characters from my understanding. And so like Aang the Last Airbender. Oh, Aang might get revealed at the Kids' Choice Award too. Oh, I guess both of them will get revealed. I guess at the Kids' Choice Awards they're gonna reveal the Avatar movie for the first time. Then they're gonna do the Avatar reveal in the Crossworlds after that trailer, and then they're gonna do the SpongeBob.
You know what I gotta see though?
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Who do you want in? Who else do you want for the rest of the thing?
I'm trying to see who produced. What was the company that produced the Minecraft movie?
Warner Bros.
Oh, okay. So they just I think it's just with the game because of
Mojang.
They had a crossover in Minecraft like multiple. So
yeah.
But the DLC right now, because the last pack is for sure Ninja Turtles because it's 4 slots.
Yeah.
They said for the last pack.
But the rest are 2. They're not gonna take up the whole thing though. They're just gonna be like just like how Steve, Alex, and
yeah, no, they're the last pack.
Oh, because I said the last pack said there's 4 characters. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's them.
Okay.
The thing about the back, I understand what Azuka meant by like it almost ruined partnerships because I said the dude who leaked it is in trouble. It's because of Aang.
Yeah.
Because they haven't revealed that design yet.
Yeah.
It's the adult Aang from the new movie coming out that no one has seen. And Avatar, part 3 of Avatar, like the new Avatar series they're making, it already leaked earlier this year.
Wow.
Like, so we know what the premise. I'm not gonna say it here because you probably don't want spoilers for it. And I don't say nothing here, but like basically the not the whole story, but basically the premise, the main character, like what the main story going to be about, the concept and everything, and like a little bit of like test footage released. Like it got leaked early. So
I know
whoever leaked that, they leaked it for Nick, and so I can see how it almost ruined it, because if Nick sees that, they're like, you guys let our new design get leaked that we haven't released yet. Like that messes up so many things because of what that dude did. And I can understand what Izuka meant. Like it could have killed it. Because remember, like they were actually gonna make a Zelda live action movie before. Like this was come out earlier. But whoever they're working with, Nintendo, somebody leaked it, right? And they just canceled it.
Damn.
No, it was a Netflix series, and they canceled it because
Yeah.
it got leaked. Like they were mad about it being leaked. So it's true that like leaks, and considering how close it was to like them showing the stuff, it does suck that it happened. I'm not gonna act like I'm not hyped for stuff, because like if I was a kid and I saw SpongeBob and Sonic in the same game, I'd be marking the fuck out. Same with TMNT.
Yeah, Loki would have been
Sonic
wild.
in the same. Like I'm kind of marking out now, because it's like they're in the same game. Either they're not gonna be like able to interact voice wise. It's just the fact they're in the same game together. Like that's like my childhood. Because before Sonic, I was on Sonic like crazy. It was like TMNT, it was Tarzan, it was SpongeBob, and Jimmy Neutron. Really, a lot of those first era of Nicktoons, like everything, like Hey Arnold and Rugrats and stuff. But I would say out of that, SpongeBob was the most.
Yeah.
That was attached to. So seeing those three in the same game is just crazy to me. That it's even happening in the first place. I know it's a kart racer, but still.
Yeah.
And they announced that new Nicktoons game that's an actual action game again, and Timmy is in it.
I didn't realize.
Even though he wasn't in the Smash Brothers game, bro.
I hated that. Like you had Hugh, but you didn't have the full. That's Jimmy Neutron. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't have.
Oh, that made me mad too, because they put him in the game and not Jimmy in the first game, and they rectified that in the second game. I'm like, I get he's a joke, but like, bro,
yeah,
I want to. That's like putting in like Larry Lobster instead of Mr. Krabs. I'm sorry, like even it'd be funny, but to me, you can't do that. We have to make a video multiverses one day about it, but really, you can't keep doing stupid stuff like that when you haven't even established the roster of your first game fully.
Memes will only
like you're still missing key characters. Imagine if Smash did that. Like imagine if Smash added Jigglypuff and no Pikachu in the first game. Like people would be mad as hell.
And that
you want Pikachu.
And that's a good way to segue into the season pass, because there's 3 packs of the season pass that we don't know yet. I've been thinking, and I think I have 3. I think I have three packs that I'd want. Of course, like each pack has multiple characters, so I don't think this wish list would really come true. I mean, one could come true. I have three that I want, because I don't really care for cartoon characters or movie or TV. I don't really care about them. Maybe comic books. I don't particularly care. Like
Damn.
But me, I would want a Crash pack. Crash Bandicoot, Neo Cortex, and Coco. Those 3. Imagine those 3. I mean, but the thing is, I don't think they would do that because of Crash Team Racing. But maybe they would. I don't know, because who knows?
It's only 2. It's only 2 characters per the rest of those packs.
2 characters. I guess it'd be Crash and Neo Cortex, or Crash and Coco. But that would go so hard. I would love, because of you saw the freaking image of Espio with the Triforce next to him. I don't know why Espio, that in this Crossworld art, they showed Espio with the Triforce like in the background, dog. And I know that in Lost World there was a Sonic and Link collaboration because it was on the Wii U. So I don't think we would ever have, I don't think they would ever, Link was in Mario Kart 8. I don't think they're gonna do that with this game, but that would be so cold. They brought in Link and Zelda, bro. Link and Zelda would go so hard. And then
I agree. It'd be cold. The only thing is that Nintendo does not want to put their stuff in games that are multi-platform. Like Fortnite was supposed to get Samus, but they tried to make it to where Samus only appeared on Nintendo Switch systems, and that deal fell through. So that's the problem with that.
Yeah. But and then the last one I think would be freaking hype is you gotta go to boy Chief. Master Chief, bro.
They ain't putting him in the game.
Bro, yes, they
They ain't putting him there.
I can see it because oh, never mind. It's Nintendo has a good relationship with Microsoft. I don't particularly want Master Chief.
Sega does too.
Yeah, I know that I don't particularly want Master Chief. I just think he'd be hype. But like of course, it's stuff like Assassin's Creed or like Spyro or Astrobot. I would really love Astrobot. If Astrobot got in the game, that'd be so hype.
No, if they get a PlayStation character, it needs to be Ratchet and Clank. It needs to be Ratchet and Clank.
That'd be good.
It has to be Ratchet and Clank. It has to be. It cannot be anybody else. Maybe I would say Jack and Daxter, right? Or Sly Cooper and Bentley.
Oh, Sly.
But they're dead franchises right now. They're dormant franchises right now. So that's the problem. Ratchet is current.
They wouldn't do Sly.
Bigger. And it's bigger. I don't think Crash is happening unless they do a thing where it's Crash and Banjo. And I put Banjo there only because remember he was an Xbox exclusive character in the first All Stars Racing.
Oh, okay.
Like he
so
was
they would have a relationship.
Bonus, but it was that nuts and bolts. It was to advertise nuts and bolts stuff. So that was one thing. But I don't think they're gonna sell Banjo to new kids now because you gotta understand Smash was it was a legacy thing to even do that as DLC.
And especially as paid. Now, not for the paid.
Yeah, it's paid DLC. Like no kid playing this game gonna know who Banjo is, and that's probably Microsoft's fault. But it's the truth. They'll probably know who Crash is.
Yeah.
They don't think he's homeless now because of all the stuff going on with him. And apparently there is a new Spyro game in the works, but we gotta hope that project stays alive and actually gets revealed.
I mean, if it's new Spyro coming, then they'd want him to be in the game to get that promotion. And and then for the free DLC, of course, it seems like they're hitting on like these Sega characters that I feel like they're gonna put Beat in the game from Jet Set Radio. And that's a new game coming out. They're gonna get they need a representative from Crazy Taxi. I know we were discussing this about how they could just do the board, like they had a Crazy Taxi board in the other game in Sonic Riders,
the taxi,
or the car. But I feel like since they already have humans in this game, like humans besides Eggman, I feel like you might as well put that black dude, put like a face to help make a clear face to Crazy Taxi.
Black dude.
Yeah, I never
Hey,
played
come on,
Crazy
man.
Taxi.
That's a black video game all-star. That's BD Joe.
Yeah, I know
his name right.
BD Joe. I
made a video on it.
I've watched that video. I don't remember his name. But I love that Crazy Taxi video. And then, but mainly, I mainly want to make sure there's enough Sonic characters. I need if we're gonna do this mess and you're gonna have like multiple waves of free characters, dog, you better have my IDW, all my IDW heroes. I need you to have my I need freaking costumes. Sonic Dream Team just got some more costumes coming to their game, so I need costumes for characters. I need OG characters. I need like an adventure pack. I need an IDW pack. I need like a villain pack with Mephiles Autumn. Like, I need all of that. Give me all these Sonic characters. Give me Chaos Zero.
Well, I feel like they're gonna charge for some of that stuff if they get like a season 2, because I think I don't think they're gonna put all that stuff.
I think if they're gonna do more free, I feel like it would be more of the people who like, because you have to make animations for all these people, and especially you have to make especially if they're like a human or like they're much like different proportions. But like if you saw in the footage, even Jet, I was watching some of Jet's animations while he was in the car, and Jet is unfinished. At least he did unfinished, or he just purposely half of his tricks and half of his animations are just Sonic's animations, because when Jet was driving, he was turning around and wagging his finger like Sonic was doing.
Well, Jet kind of does that too. It's just that he does it a different way. But
right.
to be fair, that's what they're doing with like a lot of in these games. A lot of the time, like even Smash, right? If you look at certain characters, they have like there are certain characters that are just a base framework. Before you make the actual like a new character, and I think like Mart is. I think it's Link. Like for instance with Hero, you can tell like Link was the base framework for like the model and to style of that. Like Link was the base model for that. Like Banjo Mario was the base model for like you can match those to that, and they do a lot of. We don't see it, but there are animations that are kind of like repurposed to work within the character. So I mean, they're probably gonna add some new stuff, but I'm just saying like that. Don't be surprised if they do that for some of the characters that are out there.
And that's where I was leading into, is that if they're gonna continue free characters like down the line, probably the free ones will be more of like people like Takal, people like Surge, people like who literally like has that they're the same size as Sonic and Amy and all of them, and they can reuse a lot more animations.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I think that they would eventually do for the free, but you know, just to save time. And you know, I wouldn't be mad, honestly.
I'm glad they made the Sega characters free, because I said it before, but when Transform came out, well, I said it to you, when Transform came out, they didn't like have a lot of their IPs alive. So when All Stars Racing and Transform had those characters in it, it was more of a celebration of like the history of Sega. Basically, almost everybody in Transform had something, like some re-release, some port, except for Skies of Arcadia. Now, Sega's reviving all these IPs. They have current IPs, and now they can put a character there, and if they're free, a lot of these new kids, like I was, remember, you gotta understand, like, the reason I have like a lot of knowledge on these games is because I played a lot of crossover games, right? And that got me into different series, and I want to know people's stories and how they exist and what happened with them. That's what happened with me. You're gonna get new folks, you know, old and young, that are going to look at these characters and be like, this character is interesting. I want to see what their game was. Now there's a new Shinobi coming out. Now there's a new Jet Set Radio coming out. It's Jet Set Radio 25th anniversary. Now there's a new, all those games got updated. Yeah, there's new Golden Axe, a new Streets of Rage, and there's another Streets of Rage out, right? Knights is the only one, and we know that's coming, that doesn't have a new game. I don't know if Reala is going to be playable, but from that thing we saw, like those are new renders, and no one's talking about it, but those are new renders based off the Saturn version of Knights, because before Transform used a lot of old renders. Same with the All Stars Racing, and it was Journey of Dreams Knights. Even though like the car was Journey of Dreams Knights, it wasn't the Saturn version. You can tell because there's like little extra details on Journey of Dreams Knights compared to like the Saturn version. The fact that they redid both of them tells me they're both playable. But I know like
they wouldn't do all that just for it to be like an event in the background, especially when people love Knights.
And you gotta understand that like Reala is like the Shadow the Hedgehog for Knights. Like that's the counterpart. There's Jackal as well, but Jackal is like, that's supposed to be one of Knights' is like stronger siblings and looks like, but nobody, like the fight was not as like pushed, you know, compared to Reala. And then Reala was like in Journey of Dreams 2, Jackal wasn't, and being a threat in that game. But that's like the Shadow to Knights. So I would be surprised if I would be happy they're both in there. I'm not gonna be mad if Reala's not in there. I want it Knights, but that I'm not surprised because that is Azuka's baby, and that tells me that they wouldn't do that unless they're gonna make a new Knights game. The issue why you haven't had a new Knights game because they've had to make Sonic games. That's why you haven't had new Knights games. But I think they're gonna prioritize all the Sonic Team projects. That's why I kept telling you like they're gonna put Amigo in there because that was a Sonic Team game. Ooh La La, because that was originally a Sonic Team game.
And Billy Hatcher's
and
Sonic
she had a
Team,
new
right?
game come out with Space Channel 5 VR. What'd you say?
And Billy Hatcher's Sonic Team, right? That's by Yuji Naka.
I think that he won't come back because they're not making a new game for him, and he's like now he's a bit irrelevant to come back. I mean, he didn't come back in Transformed, but it's like if you're gonna put people in those slots, you're gonna put people you're gonna try to push. And then II is not Sonic Team, but II Monkey Ball has been getting new games, and it's one of their bigger
really
IPs.
Need to support freaking II
that targets kids. So like, and he was also in that, you know, that trailer they had where like Sam procrastinated, was talking about like, oh, I wanted to come back. They focused on him, on II.
Yeah.
Like they showed specifically him, and they showed him on the Amigo stage. So I'm pretty sure he will come in the game. I think the locks are gonna be like Knights, Beat, II, Amigo. 'Cause Amigo got 2 games. He got a mobile game and a Switch game that came out, and maybe Ooh La La. And keep in mind, most of those characters besides Beat were in the first Riders game, or were in Riders and Zero Gravity together. So it'd be a reunion of those characters in the game. So I think those are the main Sega characters they'll add. We may get Gilius, we may get Joe Musashi, which I hope for. Another one that I see getting added is Alex Kidd, because they're adding him to Sonic Rumble. And that's still crazy to me. They're pushing him. I know he got a remake of his first game, but they're also they did renew his IP for like something new project with Alex Kidd. So we don't know. You know who else is getting a new game? Echo the Dolphin. We're gonna get Echo the Dolphin in the game somehow, like a vehicle or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. But Echo the Dolphin's getting a new game, so that's another Sega IP that's coming back. Like they're just bringing back every fucking thing. Alter Beast got in Rumble, like the fucking Alter Beast.
Yeah, I remember.
Like that shit was that. I mean, I know I'm trying to. You may not like get the hype behind it because you may not know those IPs, but it's like these are some of these characters that are people they haven't touched in a long time, and the fact they're using them like this is just insane to me. Like the fact they have a mobile game and they put the fucking Alter Beast. And he has different like forms that he had. I know it's like the Centurion, this is his actual name, but come on now, we're gonna call him the Alter Beast because he has different. He's in the beast forms. And then Oompa Oompa could be a vehicle. There's a hang-on vehicle. The Crazy Taxi thing is just because like I think they're tied to their taxi, which is why I think the Crazy Taxi will be a vehicle and not like a playable character in this game, because they have to get them out of the taxis and they lose part of their identity from that. But I mean, it's not impossible to do that. But then you have like stages like the Galaxy Force. Like there's a fucking Galaxy Force 2 stage. I know I'm hyping this up, man. I know you probably like, what is all this stuff? But if you know how
I'm
old.
sorry, bro. Besides Crazy Taxi and besides like some like references from like the Riders or whatever, basically I have no idea about almost all of these games.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's why you need to be in here so you can learn about it. You get an interest for it. Because you gotta have an interest. You gotta have an interest in order to want to learn about something, right? You gotta have an interest. That the interest comes from these crossovers. But like, it's just the fact they pulled that. It's like Galaxy Force 2 is like them. It's like how Nintendo will pull like a random old school character in Smash. Like Game & Watch was the first in Melee, right? Next game was freaking Rob, and how they showed Rob. Technically Rob and Lucas, because no one knew who Lucas was. I don't care what people say. Nobody knew who Lucas was until that game, unless you were in Japan. No, don't give me that crap. Well, I knew Mother 3 before it happened. I knew like it was only in Japan. Shut up.
Like 4 people. Like
nobody knew who that dude was, but they made him one of the coldest characters in the game for that story. They made Rob look like a badass, right? Because he was the ancient minister. Remember that in that game? And then they put Duck Hunt.
And I thought Rob was the original character.
Yeah, I did too. And I looked at, wait, that's just one of their toys, and they made this dude like that. Like that was just, I don't know, man. They were cooking back then.
That's what they're not gonna have the story, but
yeah,
you know, that's just how multiversal stuff is. Almost any multiversal story, they're gonna fumble. Like I think about like Jump Stars, J Stars, what's it called? Jump Force. Yeah. Like just don't even try. Like that's why I'm glad they're really not doing it. Unless they're gonna do a story that's only gonna focus on just the main characters. And
J Stars didn't even do it right either, because it was like this big tournament and it was just pretty much interactions. And then the bad guy was like this dark entity that would just become like a dark clone of the character you were fighting against. That was the final boss.
No one would be satisfied. So it's I'm glad that they're being smart. I think they're being smart, in my opinion.
There's only one game that does it, and it's Super Robot Wars. And they actually, what they do is crazy. That's why I keep hyping it up to you like crazy.
This fool jayblast. This fool tells me about Super Robot Wars like
every new one's coming out.
Day. It's full. Oh.
But you gotta understand, it's crazy because not only do they have their original story, but they're pretty much like combining the stories of the series together. with their original story. So like you go through the story of like Gundam and stuff, but you had this original story in the background, and some things happen because of like maybe like another show like Mazinger. Some things change because of it, or Macross change. It changes because of that, right? And they actually have to go. There's interactions based off that. Every time you fight a major boss in the game that's from a different series, or even the OG bosses from the original that they make, every single fucking character you play as almost has an interaction with that boss, like a voice interaction, unless their voice actor is dead. They have like something to say to that character, which is like you don't see that.
It's just also different when like you have a very big scope for a game as well, like especially like when you're working with making like a 3D, like make a kart race, like you have like all these environments to create and all this stuff. Like the budget is already going to be I think it's just so much harder to be adding all those extra stuff.
Yeah, and like they cut corners too, kind of, because they have like the story is presented more with visual novel style, but that's because they try to animate the stuff like it's from the show, especially in the later games. Like it looks like it's from like you're watching the anime when they animate like the attacks, the strategy RPG. So they do put a lot of budget into it. And then the OG characters have crazy animation, even crazy, because they're not limited by like what the creator wants, right? They got Gurren Lagann in one of them, and it's crazy. Like sometimes they keep characters alive that were supposed to die. You gotta save them. I'm just saying,
bro. Okay, I know you just saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like you're never gonna reach that. Dog. You're never gonna reach that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Super Robot Wars someday, bro. I promise. Or when this new one, I'll see.
There's new like Godzilla in it.
Show. I've still never even watched any of the Godzilla movies. Even like
this one's based off the anime on Netflix, the single front or line, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I need to get on the Godzilla the Monsterverse, because I love me some King Kong. Yeah, I'm always Team Kong.
I mean that ape get destroyed by Godzilla. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's not even. That's the especially like OG King Kong, like it's not even a competition.
Yeah, I'm sorry to ramble that long, but the whole point I'm trying to say is that you have to be in a special situation to get fully interaction. Even Smash can't do like the voice interactions. Yeah, and then they do it. It's like one character like Pit commenting on stuff, and they couldn't even make new ones. Remember that?
And even Pit doing that, that's Sakurai's character.
Yeah.
So. And they have literally like 20 years of having all of these third-party characters. Like, if anybody has the clout and is gonna treat your stuff with care, it's gonna be Sakurai. So if they don't even trust him with their IPs, then obviously, like I feel like nobody should be expecting much.
Yeah, and keep in mind, even the IPs they own, they still have to be careful towards. They have to ask the creators for permission on certain things, and they can't do certain things. Because it's even harder. Like they had a Dragon Quest to Smash. They originally none of the heroes could fight each other, but they broke that. Like Square broke the rule because of Smash Brothers. Like only reason why they did that because Sakurai's that clouded. That's the only reason why they allowed that. Nobody could get that.
That's wild. Right?
And they're saying characters that can't do certain things because of their creators, like, or even in PlayStation, right? You think they could get every PlayStation character? We see they couldn't with that game's roster, but Parappa almost didn't make, because the creator Parappa almost didn't want him in the game because thought the game was too violent for Parappa. So like that stuff like that gets characters out of the game, which is why I thought like Ichiban would never make it, because I thought they'd be like, oh, it's too goofy or it wouldn't fit the style, but they did it. They freaking did it, and I'm glad it was Ichiban. I like Kiryu, but Ichiban fits more for this type of game.
Yeah, and I think it's just good. Gamer. It's good so much just for the sake of solidarity. Like I think it'll only help in the long run.